a.m. on Friday. I am in Breakfast with Champions. Super excited to be here. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising to each and every one of you. I am Stars Tina, and I'm feeling super amazed today. You are in Breakfast with Champions, the Millionaire Breakfast Club. And guys, Glenn Lundy is at the helmet. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling supercharged this Friday, and I just want us to start sharing the room out in the hallways. If you want to see my face, you can hop on Instagram. But first, like I said, let's share it out. I want to thank each and everyone who has shared the room out already. And if you didn't know, we are here Monday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by the social media show. Now, you can also check out our podcast and join the club right now. And I just want to say some good mornings to people, because if you're up this time of day, you are amazing. So I want to say good morning to TM. I see Renee, I see Mac, I see Inger, Zonia, and welcome to Clubhouse, Sitsi. If you didn't know, guys, everyone, and I repeat, everyone gets a seat at the table. That is one thing that I loved when I first start here in Clubhouse. And if you're a person who's on Twitter, I'm not really a Twitter person. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, do me a favor right now. Click that button at the bottom. We're currently at 14, and you can copy the link and you can share it with someone. Hi there, Wendy Bloom. And the reason why you want to share it, guys, is because you don't want to keep all this goodness inside of you, right? We want to change the world. And in order to make changes, guess what? You have to do things a little bit differently. You have to go outside the box. So again, let's see what's happening in this chat over here. On the left side of the screen, you're going to see a chat, and you can write different things. I see we're Health. Good morning, Health. Good morning, Jeff with the smooth voice. Dora Maria, hello, hello, hello. Kim Farah, good morning to him. I love people write chat. Today's conversation is amazing. If you look at the top, the title is "You'll always build to the level that you believe." And oh my gosh, does this touch. If you were in the room earlier with Marvin, he was talking about business, and it actually flying with top 20 shares. Okay, we're getting there, guys. There's about 46 of us in the room right now. So if there's 46, I want to get those shares up a little bit more, because as the conversation begins to go, it's going to get juicier, it's going to get better, it's going to get pretty more amazing. My Renee, can you change the link at the top to the YouTube channel? Because I would love for you guys to follow me on YouTube and have a special guest today, guys. I always say your vibe is your tribe. And today I'm going to be talking about boundaries, because in order to build to the next level in your business, you have to have boundaries. You can't let people take advantage of you. And what you believe in is definitely going to show with what you're doing in life. For example, if you believe that you only deserve a certain amount of money, you're not going to make any more than that. But if you're setting boundaries, what you're doing, how you're doing it, it's going to make it so much easier. So clicking the link at the top, I Stars Tina. Fitness is my passion, guys. I absolutely love fitness. After this, 6 o'clock anyway, I'm going to be doing exercise class and just running out. Hi, Trisha. So that's what keeps me motivated, is fitness. And my passion is to change the world through mind and body, everything that just supports the world. And I'm so excited to have this woman here today. But first, I want to give some more good mornings. Good morning, Core. And I see Great Dorland. Good morning, Great Dorland. He raised his hand. Join us up here, buddy boy. I see Inger. I see Regina. I see Cortland. Another thing you want to do, guys, is follow all the moderators. Follow the person next to you, above you, but go a little bit deeper when you're following the person. Maybe you go to their Instagram and see what they do, because there's so many times the person right next to you could be your next partner. And I can't tell you all the relationships that I have gotten from this beautiful app here called Clubhouse. Good morning, David. How are you? Okay, I'm going to jump right in, guys, because we only have 30 minutes. Glenn will be here in about 27, 26 minutes to get going on this wonderful Friday. So with that being said, I want to say good morning. Mary Kim, how you feeling today? That's my special guest, guys. She is a chapter president of Mom Link, and we're going to kick it off today. How you feeling, Mama?
I'm feeling amazing and wide awake, and I can't wait for this conversation. Building to the level that you believe in.
Yes.
So great.
Yes, let me tell you guys, I thought I was up early in the morning. This girl, I think she's a vampire, because she doesn't really sleep that well. So today's topic is all around this beautiful book that I read a few weeks ago, actually a few months ago. And if you're looking at me on YouTube, you'll see it. Called Setbacks, Find Peace. Because I don't know about you, but I want peace in my life. And in order to have peace, you have to have boundaries with all sorts of different things. This is a guide to reclaiming yourself, and it's written by Nedra Glover Tawwab. If you have not read it, I invite you to read because it will definitely help you sticking to what you want to do when it comes to business. Because if you want to succeed, you have to have some boundaries with that. If you didn't know, there's actually 3 different types of boundaries. Okay, and I gotta mute someone there because I hear someone having a party this morning. I love it. Were you guys in earlier? No, I love that song, Rise and Grind. I listen to it all the time. So the 3 different types of boundaries, and I'm not going to go into complete detail with them. Porous boundaries, rigid boundaries, and healthy boundaries. By the titles, you can tell the difference between them all, which is super important. But today, I want to talk about the 6 different types of boundaries and why it's so important to have the boundary and then how to set it up. So this is how it's going to work, guys. This is going to be an interactive thing. If you're watching me, you're like, why does she keep taking her glasses off? I'm really not used to wearing glasses, to be honest. But I need them. So I want everyone to interact in the chat with me. Now, with the 6 different types of boundaries, guys, it is necessary and even vital to set standards for your life and the people you allow in it. That's by Manuel. Check out the last part. For the people that you allow in your life, and you hear me say this all the time, your vibe is your tribe, right? So if you're having people around you that are flip-flopping with their morals and their values, that's pretty much how you're with your business. Just looking in the chat. Has anyone read this book before? I'm curious. Mods, has anyone read this book, heard about this book? Unmic, let me hear you. Talk to me. Setting boundaries. Nobody? Am I talking to myself? Am I here? Okay.
I haven't, but I've learned about boundaries just through life. But I have not read the book, though.
Cool. Anyone else read the book? All right. Some of you are still laying in bed. Some of you stretching. That's okay. If you're stretching, I'm going to give you 2 more minutes, and then we're going to do a little stretch right here. So when it comes to boundaries, guys, the first one I want to talk about is physical boundaries. And this can be something as simple as someone standing too close to you, or perhaps it could be forcing hugs or kisses or handshakes. I don't know about you, but I'm a hugger. I know some people like to kiss on the cheek. But when it comes to business, it's super important that you keep those boundaries, one, because of the professionalism, and then secondly, how it makes the other person feel. You definitely want to make them feel comfortable, but also be very professional with everything that you're doing. That's the first example that I would like to share. And Mary Kim, I'm going to throw it to you. You can give an example how to stop the boundary, because I was speaking with someone the other day and they were saying, they want to sound professional, but they don't want to sound rude or mean. So if there's a physical boundary, and of course you can go even deeper with that with physical abuse or, reading someone's personal things. Mary Kim, what is in regards to how we can people to stop those boundaries?
The number one thing with all behaviors and boundaries is communication. So I think sharing, in a prior to being close at vicinity is to say, listen, I prefer X, Y, and Z, or I feel more comfortable with X, Y, and Z. We're all adults, especially in the workspace, to honor that, whether it's coming from your mouth or from someone else's mouth, and don't be too much on top of them, because sometimes I know in these corporate meetings you want to have a buddy next to you, but sometimes people need their space so they can learn in that space. And I'd like to add too, as parents or caretakers, allow your child to decide how they physically want to say hello to their families and friends. Give them that power, which also gives them self-respect at an early age without telling them that they must give hugs and kisses. Like, that's how I grew up. But I think that's another positive way to teach.
Yes, I love, 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 love that. And guys, as we're saying, what you believe in is just going to go with everything that you're doing. I always say back to your boundaries. Okay, so I'm looking in the chat, and Renee, if you can write in the chat the different boundaries. Like I said, there's 6 of them, and at the end, if anyone would like to share their thoughts, on the topic, we're going to go through them all. So the second boundary that you definitely want to have in business, actually in life, but today we're talking about business because you're only going to grow as much as you believe, is sexual jokes. Different things like that, innuendos, maybe touching in a sexual manner. And in business, some people, say jokes that really aren't that professional or clean or, just right for business. So that's super important to set those boundaries from day one. I think the way you show up, I always say, you can't make a first impression twice. So when you first meet someone, how are you looking? How are you sounding? Are you confident? And you may be nervous, you may be scared, but you have to let people know from the very beginning what you stand for and how you are. Mary Kim, I'm throwing it to you, Mama.
Well, in the corporate world, I've I've been in the corporate world for 28 plus years, and it happens way too often. You know, managers making these innuendos about females or sexual comments. It's totally inappropriate. Nowadays, there are definitely laws, you know, about behavior in the office, and do not be afraid to express that it's inappropriate, and do not be afraid to let HR know. I know we don't want to rat on our people, but, you know, it's inappropriate, and if you don't kind of communicate that up front, it could excel, because some people just worked and grew up in that type of framework, and it's not appropriate these days.
Hey, if you're liking the conversation, can I get started in the chat? And also, I meant to say this earlier because I love when we have new people in the building. If this is your first time hearing my voice, if this is your first time with Breakfast with Champions, I also want you to put some stars in the chat so we can give you some extra love and some extra hellos. I see Dawn in the building is new to Clubhouse. Welcome to Breakfast with Champions. Girl, let me tell you, this is the best morning show ever. We're going to get you up. We're going to get you pumped. And I am giving you a follow, Dawn. Very, very important. Today, guys, we're talking about boundaries. And you're only going to build to the level that you believe. And I love this because when I was younger, I just kind of, I wouldn't say I flipped around like a fish, but I kind of went with what was popular or what felt good. So as I mature and, you know, get older, it's easy for me. Like, this is the way it is, and that's it. All right. So the next tip, I want my mods to unmic so I can make sure everyone is awake. And I want you to repeat after me. I'm going to say three. Okay, I heard about 3 people. It looks like there's a couple more mods on here. So mods, when I say 3, you say 3. Okay, I don't know who that first screen was, but I loved it. Alrighty, guys. The reason why I want you to get this energy up, because when Glenn gets in here, I want him to walk in the door and like, whoa, it just like blows him out the water. So the third boundary, which is super important. Hi, Estelle on Clubhouse. I'm sorry, on Instagram. The third is intellectual boundaries. And this one really hits hard for me. I have to really work on this for myself. But this could be things like ridiculing someone for their views or their thought. And I know in business, I haven't worked in the corporate world, or, you know, I've been doing the entrepreneur thing. I'm a fitness professional, like I tell you. So I haven't really been in that scene for a while. But I know back in the day, I remember people would argue over silly things like what happened with a celebrity or what happened in the news. And I'm like, first of all, are you in sports? Like, what do you care? Why are you wasting your time with this? Putting someone down for what they believe in, whether it's religion or other things. This is not going to get you to the next level in business. It's not going to get you to the next level in life. All right. So, Mary Kim, throwing it to you, girlfriend.
I love it. I want to go back to sexual boundaries really quick. If you have children, definitely teach them their sexual boundaries at an early age, as soon as they can understand. The truth is, over 90% of children not today have already watched a pornographic movie. Wow. So it's so important to share that out to everyone. And in regards to intellectual boundaries, I agree. You know, we live in a world that we need more love. We need more compassion. We need more people to share their thoughts and ideas. So many of us have grew up where, you know, our voice did not matter, and our voice really matters today more than ever. And to just respect someone's opinion, it doesn't mean it's fact. If we're talking facts, that's different. But when someone's giving their opinion, respect it, even if you disagree. And sometimes, if you actually tune in to listen, you may learn something and be able to see their perspective. Does not mean that you agree with it, but I think it's so important as we grow in this world to respect each other's minds and opinions and thoughts. This is how we change the world.
Yes, and Mary Kim, I love the last part you said, change the world. I know that sounds really cheesy and really corny, but that's what I believe in so much. It's like, I believe God gave me all the traumatides, all the love in my life, everything gone, everything, you know, I'm doing, change the world. That's the most important thing. Okay, so the next one is emotional boundaries. And for this one, it could be sharing too much. Are you ever around that person, they just keep talking and talking, and it's like, okay, It's not that you don't care, but it's inappropriate. You don't need to know about what they did last night with their boyfriend or what their, that whole thing. In business, again, you want to keep it professional. What is it you actually believe in? Oversharing, pushing someone to share when they really don't want to share. So again, this just goes back to being confident with who you are. And I want to invite you to spend some time with yourself so you know who you are, and some things you can do. You can journal, you can read, you can meditate, you can do yoga, you can do grounding things. Let me tell you guys, yesterday, or shall I say the past few weeks, I've been feeling a little all over the place. And I was like, Tina, you need to be a little more grounded. So I always have this rock. If you're watching, it's my rock, and this one says grace. And I give myself some grace. And I forgot my bracelets, but yesterday I was feeling so good. I made some more bracelets because that, again, helps me keep grounded, whether it's a tiger's eye, the hematite, or whatever it is. So emotional boundaries is not oversharing or excess stuff like that. Mary Kim, what's a good way that you may have been in this situation where so much is going and going, and you don't want to sound rude, that you've stopped them from oversharing?
I think the first thing is that we have to not put anyone's feelings or experience down, even if we don't agree to that. That's number one. And you can easily say, like, oh, I hear you, I understand where you're at, and maybe give them suggestions. Like, if they're trauma dumping, that's an unhealthy space. Suggest possibly, that maybe go speak to a counselor or go check out this community. And vomiting on someone is just not healthy either, because you're not giving that other person space. So sometimes like, oh, I heard you, I'm listening to you, this is what I've known, or I've experienced X, Y, and Z, and that's a good way to kind of not gear it toward just a different way, but just say, like, I'm here for you, I got you, and this is what I suggest. And this way they kind of don't dump anymore. Those are the two things I would lean into. But definitely never say how their feeling is invalid or their experience is not their experience. Even if you grew up in the same household, my experience is different than my siblings' experience, even though we grew up in the same house. You have to respect people's feelings and thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, I totally agree with that. So on point. I just want to read what's going on in the chat. I see my girl Trish there. Trish says, you'll always build to the level that you believe. Stars Tina believes you can build yourself up to anything you want to be. And that is so, so, so true, guys. And it depends on what you're putting in your head. When I say that, I talked this Monday, was in here, knowledge is always giving yourself more. It's a book, going on YouTube, taking a course, a master class. If you guys didn't know, Grow for God conference is in, oh my gosh, is it next week already? If you're watching, I have a book from last year. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. The speakers, Tamara's leading it, and she's mentioned all the wonderful things that are happening in it, and I'm so excited to be there. So that's enough. All right, here we go. The next, material boundaries. And this one right here, when I first heard, I was like, material boundaries, that's weird. And this could be with lending someone something and they don't give it back to you, or maybe they never return. And it could be as simple as a stapler, or, for women, I don't know about you guys, like all dress or shirt or jewelry. And I was like, oh, I forgot. But did they really forget? But yeah, it's super important that you return things. Another thing, guys, in the same condition that you got them. And I always say this, you have those people that are very rigid in their boundaries, and those people usually never get abused when it comes to things like this. And it's that person that's kind of flip-floppity. But from the moment you give it to the person and you tell them, this is how I gave it to you. So important. Also, when it comes to material boundaries, you tell someone, well, you're going to give them, let's say in business, at least for me anyway, it's equipment. All right. If someone wants to borrow some weights, or if someone wants to borrow a foam roller or something like that, making sure you give it back. Robin says, leave things. Ooh, yes. Fire, Robin. Love it. Robin Nelson says, leave things better than you found them. I love that. And that makes me think of when you go into a room as well, right? When you walk into a room, you want to make the people uplift. You want to make everyone feel good. So you come in just when they came. Thank you so much for sharing that, Robin. All right, guys, before I throw it over to Mary Kim, it looks like we're at 33 shares. I'd love for us to get to about 50 before Glenn gets in here, because he's going to be in here shortly. There's 118 of us in the room. So if each of us can do another share, that would be awesome. And Mary Kim, how can we stop people from abusing our material boundaries? Love to hear from you. just unmic your Clubhouse, and then we can hear you, Mama.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was stuck in the back chat trying to share out the room. Yes, I love all the tips for sure. I would suggest that, it all comes down to respecting and communication on all these boundaries and share that. But also, in regards to the workforce, do not steal other people's materials and call it your own. That happens a lot in corporate, like respect someone else's work. Or if you utilize it or refer to it, say, listen, I got this, I learned this from so-and-so. It does not make you less of a person or less experienced or knowledgeable. You look like a chump if you do that because people know. That's my suggestion on that.
I love that. And when you said that, I wasn't even thinking corporate America, American. I'm thinking about these social media streets. As these fitness industry, there's so many things going on, and I'm one for collab. I'm a big collab. I don't know if it's because low key I'm a little nervous or I just love the party. I said on Monday, I'm used to a household of a lot of people, so I love having a lot of people. I love collabing. Give people kudos. I've said it from day one. Everyone that motivates me, that's inspired me, from TM saying, Tina, keep the main thing. And I kept writing that down. The main thing. If you're watching me, what's the main thing these days? My sneaker drive. And it's going so very good, guys. So good. I've even added more things on there. I'm doing a sneaker drive. And what do you believe? I'm going to lean into this conversation for a little bit, because when I first had the idea of collecting sneakers to send to Nigeria in honor of my son, my goal was 100. And that was super scary for me. I did not believe, I didn't see it. And TM just kind of poured into me. And sometimes you need that outside person to just clear the fog off the window, clear the fog so you can actually see how to make these goals happen. Not only did he clear the fog, but then my tribe, who was amazing, sharpened it. Shelly, Tina, you have to do 300 pairs because there's over 200 kids in school. And I were my thoughts from, well, Tina, you have to give them a bag. So I'm going to be making bags to give them as well as bookmarks. So again, just going back to your vibe is your tribe. What are you believing in? And if your beliefs aren't that strong, get it. You might have poor money, scarcity mindset. Go around other people, see other things. Go to that car dealership and take a ride in that Mercedes, in that Rolls Royce. Feel it. And it's free, guys. It's free. You can do it. Go to those open houses. Walk around the house. Feel it, because you deserve it. You just have to believe it in your mind. We are no different. You are no different than anyone else. Let me look at this chat to see if anyone else is chatting it up with us. Today, guys, we're talking about boundaries. Boundaries that may possibly hold you back in business. They may possibly hold you back in life. Kayla is talking. Come on up here, Natasha. Kayla says, indeed, please stop trying to copy our social media. You love it. I love that. I heard someone say the other day, they just copy someone's and put it on their page. Now, where did she go? Where did that post go? Oh, Kayla, I want you to come up. I don't know if you're on stage. I want you to unmic about this, because when you say copy, are you talking about the words? Because I'm into exercise, because I'm always doing like a side by side. Let me see. Are you able to unmic? Are you up here, Mama? If so, unmic, chat with me about this. I don't know if she's up here.
Hello.
Hey, go for it, Mama. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I run a restaurant and cannabis dispensary, and I do posts for my former business partner for free. And both pages are very different, and both pages get copied. So his restaurant is a high-end breakfast cafe, so you'll see a beautiful picture of food, and then the caption is always something brownie, and it's like, our brownies will turn your frownies upside downy. Like, I post the most ridiculous, stuff, but people love it. Some of the captions are just beyond ridiculous. And so then other restaurants will start stealing verbiage or just straight up take the post and change 2 words. And then they'll put out a paid ad with their new photos and everything. And they're using pretty much the exact same things that I said. And in my restaurant, we do a mix of serious and funny because, got to get information about cannabis, also have a restaurant. So from there, I noticed that a lot of the consistent words that I use, because I 17 years of sales, some of the consistent words that I use to like draw people in. Other restaurants use those too, and then they put out paid ads with the same words and everything. But the problem is we've been around longer and people know us, so they see that and they'll be like, "Wait, didn't this page?" Like, I deal with that all the time. Artwork theft. Like I'll put a post up, someone will do the same thing. The style of photos that I do, but I don't take it as like competition, or I don't upset. If anything, it's flattery, and I just like focus on my own stuff and keep it moving.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, because at first I didn't understand and now I get it, and it is flattery, but again, at the same time, you put in all the hard work to make this come true, to make your, to run your business, and then you have someone else coming in there and they're taking what you did. So I totally get that. Now this last topic, guys, I think everyone's going to want to chime in on it. It's time boundaries. And this chat is on fire. Let me see. I have your health says, yep, I've had people copy my contact verbatim and claim it as their own. That sucks. That's not cool, guys. But the girl that just spoke, I'm sorry, I forgot her name. I love how she said, she has her style, and people can tell. People know when someone else is copying what you're doing. All right. Sandra says, they pay the ad and even create hashtags for it and even do paid partnerships. Yep, not cool. Not cool at all. All right. So the last one I want to... So the last boundary I want to talk about, guys, and everyone needs to really, I'm not going to say need, but if you focus on this, it's going to make life so much easier, is time boundaries. Do not let people suck your time. Someone was speaking yesterday in this room and they were saying time is the biggest commodity, but pretty much it's your energy. And when I heard her say that yesterday morning, I was like, yes, pow, 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 because time is precious. Never get it back. If you notice, we changed the link at the top because one time, that link at the top, that's in honor of my son who's no longer with me. So for me, guys, time is precious. And when it comes to work, and someone mentioned this before, if you're at work and someone says to you, well, we're going to stay late today because we have to get this project done, and you're supposed to get off at a certain time. How are you supposed to say, well, I can't stay later, or things like that? So having a boundary with your time, for me, what I've recently started doing, guys, is I say on Fridays, I'm finished work at 3 p.m. I don't set appointments. For me, I actually have to write it down because I love what I do. So it's very hard for me to set boundaries, especially with clients. Clients think, oh, well, I'm going to show up late. I can stay 10 minutes later. No, I have things to do. And lastly, before I throw it over to Mary Kim, and if you want to share after her, just unmic, because Glenn is coming through in a couple minutes, guys, is setting, I forgot. So go ahead, Mary Kim. I got a brain freeze.
It's okay. Great tips, Tina. I love this. And time boundaries is super hard for me. I'm learning and growing every day about that. But I want to share, pay attention to your ROI. That's mentally, physically, spiritually, mentally, in all aspects, and in your energy of where you're spending your time. And if someone's quote unquote violating that, figure out, is it you honing in, or you are just accepting to do everything, or that person pushing you to work? Pay attention to your own ROI with your own personal time and your own personal business, because if you're not validating your time in any capacity, you're violating your own self-worth and your own self-value. And I ran across this quote the other day. Pay attention to the people who want more from you than more for you. And that hit extremely hard. So we have the ability to make choices. Your time is super valuable in all aspects, and just move forward.
Love it. Thank you, Mary Kim. Can unmic before Glenn comes through really quick. Can you share real quick?
Me? Yeah, real quick. Okay, so I used to work in the MMA industry for almost 14 years. Worked for people that never owned businesses, and they would message me dumb hours, and I would just reply and be like, we'll talk about this in the morning. Now, my business partner, who's a great dude, he just stays up late as fuck. Sorry for my language. And he will message me and be like, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? I'm like, yeah. He's like, blah, blah, blah. And he wants to figure it out right there. And that's where I'll text him. I'll be like, I'm not brainstorming this with you right now. It's ridiculous hour. I don't care. And then he'll be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I call him, and then it's the funniest conversations. So I'll call him up and be like, listen, I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I want to do that too. But it's 11:30 p.m. Do I have the brain capacity to talk about this? Yes. Am I willing to because I want to? No. We will talk about it tomorrow. Bye.
Very, very good points. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Kaylee. Awesome. We have a lot of stuff, wonderful stuff going on in the chat and here. I love how I think Trish at Clubhouse has changed her time management, and that's so important. So it's important that you realize where you're spending your time. All right, guys. Before I turn it over, see Dora Maria coming through. Can we get our shares up to 50 before I toss the mic in 30 seconds? I am Stars Tina. I'm here the 3rd and 5th Friday of the month. I'm so grateful, so to be here. And everyone just give one more share. That would be amazing before Glenn gets in here. But we got to make some noise. We got to unmic, hoot and holler, scream, all that other stuff. We're at 44 shares. Can we get to 50, guys? Let's do it on the count of 3. I love when Glenn does that. All right, on 1, on 2, on 3. Everybody give it a share. Are you ready, Glenn? Wooty, wooty, woo!
50 shares.
50 shares. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I am here.
Good morning.
Morning, coming to you live from Las Vegas. Nevada, where it is 2:30 and we're ready to go live on today's episode of GM3.